I think that my parents, being psychologists, probably did influence my way of being. My mother, in particular, always made me aware of the emotionality of things and emotion body connection, which I feel like is now sort of gaining popularity. But when I was a little girl, I had a headache and I would be like, Mom, I have a headache. And, she would say, is there something on your mind? Sometimes it was a little bit annoying as a kid too, right? I was like, no, just give me some Advil, or I hurt my back. Well, is there something that you're carrying that you need to offload? Sort of just planting those seeds. Everything is connected. How you feel and what your spirit sort of says to you and how your spirit talks to you is influenced by everything that you are and everything that's around you, right? And thinking about that very just rhetoric about the moral atmosphere in different places. That definitely influenced my way of thinking about space.
And that mind-body connection, it all starts with awareness. So for your mom to teach you that emotional muscle of self-awareness, environment awareness, that makes sense why your creativity and your strong sense of self exudes in your work today. When I see your artwork or your things at Target, me and my daughter love going to Target and seeing your picture. How would you guide us who do judge ourselves a lot? I'll be transparent. I am very critical of myself. And like we started the podcast just now, and I'm like, no, I'm going to own it. This isn't just a little small project. I love this. This is like huge for me. For you, I've always felt that you've had this confidence, and I know it's a journey and no one's born 100%, Teflon.
And when you're constantly trying things, you just get better at it. And if you're paying attention, you're noticing that you're getting better at it. A lot of people think they can just jump in and start doing something and they're automatically going to be awesome at it. And that's not how it works. You have to put the work in. I didn't think this looked good. Now I'm doing it and I walk into this room and these colors are singing and these patterns work really well together and I see it. And as you build that strength and you notice it and you own it and you, just like you did on this podcast, say, no, you know what? I actually am doing something dope. I actually am getting stronger. I can feel myself getting stronger. 20 years of my career in the design world is to get those photos that you see on Pinterest and Instagram looking like the way they do. It's not real life. You're watching a TV show. And I know that very intimately because I create a lot of those images. It's not real. That's not what my house really looks like. You know what I mean? It's like a makeup. It's, and
It's a
and
filter.
so it's a filter and it's fun, right? It's an art.
Yes.
And it's
Aspirational.
fun.
Yes.
And you can make your house look like that for a picture if you want. You know what I mean? But also this, the reality of living your life is that you don't want to live in a picture. That's not what's going to make your life beautiful. I think I'm a person who enjoys exuding warmth. I think when you meet me, I'm a hugger. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to, you're
I
going
can
to
attest to that.
You're going to feel the warmth emanating from me. That is my nature. That is something that I think the spaces that I design exude. I think they exude warmth. We're here to grow, and so if that means changing and transforming and evolving, that's part of it. So I think for me, I look back on photos, from 10, 15, 20 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, of course my style has evolved and changed. I'm an evolving, changing human being. For me, designing spaces is really about transporting someone into, and mostly it's me, right? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to feel like I am in this moment? How do I want the space to support how I want to feel?
For you, Justina, in your own home, is there a special spot or a special activity that makes you feel like the true Justina?
I think it's so many different places at so many different times for many different Justinas. There are definitely moments where it's water that brings me solace, and I'm a water girl and I want to be in the water, so I want to be in our big ass bathtub, or I want to go
Mm.
out to the pool. But then there's definitely other moments where I'm like, no, I'm a fire girl. I'm an Aries. I want to be laying in front of the fireplace and reading a
Are you
book.
really
And
an Aries?
hmm yeah.
Oh, I am too. When's your birthday? Well, I don't know
March
if you want to share.
23rd.
Oh my gosh. I'm April 5th. We are birthday buddies. No
Everybody's
wonder we're attracted to each
now
other.
Aries always love Aries.
Fire sign. We are
We love
spicy.
we are spicy, and we like to talk.
Because we do tend to box ourselves in, like, oh, the formal living room should only be for X, Y, and Z, or the kitchen, like we even let the builder decide our living, right? Because they space planned certain areas to be this or that. I know for me, I try to challenge that with clients who don't use the formal living room or the formal dining room. Let's put a pool table in. You have 3 teenagers. Let's just make it into a game room. Who cares?
Yeah, it's actually really like very surprising to me the way that so much of, I think, the way people think about design is about pleasing others, whether it's worrying about resale value. If there's one place in the world you should be leaning into your own inclinations, your own taste, your own activities that you like to do, it's your home. I think like I really like to encourage people to just get more free. Like this is your place. This is your place. If you want to run around naked, this is the one place that you're allowed to do that. Like do it. Run around
Absolutely.
naked. Understanding more about yourself. I think a lot of people don't know what they like. And I think, and so they're just grabbing onto whatever, the magazines say are cool, or the TV shows say are cool, or their favorite celebrity says are cool. And they're like, oh, that's what's cool. I think for a lot of people, food is very visceral. You
Mhm.
can taste something and you should be able to know. I think that's a very accessible thing for people. Like, if you like to eat something or not, right?
Mhm.
And if you can sort of practice understanding that side of things from an aesthetic standpoint, like the same way that you might eat an apple and be like, this apple is like crunchy, sweet, it's a little tangy, like I really like that. You can do the same thing with home decor where you're like, oh, this color, yeah, when I look at it, it reminds me of being in the ocean. And I really like being in the ocean.
What's your suggestion for someone who wants to break free at home using design?
What is really helpful is to start really bite sized. I think that's true with everything in life. I think when you start with like, oh, I have my whole house to do, even like, oh, I have to, do my living room or my dining, like even that can feel very, very overwhelming. I think starting really, really small, you can pick like a corner or a wall, or you're like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on this sofa. And I want to make this sofa be a true expression of who I am. If you can kind of do sort of a meditative exercise or a journal entry or something along those lines, of the places that you've been that have visually really like stayed with you, really impacted you. When I was 20, I went on a spring break trip to Morocco and I was there for 2 weeks. Morocco
Mhm.
stayed with me. There was just something about the colors, something about the tiles and the parks and just everything that just like the marketplaces, the colors, the vibrancy, all of it that just really spoke to my soul. First trip of going there, I can close my eyes and it's like I can smell it, I can see it, I can, taste it. It's like so vivid for me. So think about the places that might have had that kind of impact on you. Maybe it was your grandmother's house growing up. Maybe it was a cool hotel that you stayed at in Tulum. Start there. Start with something that viscerally you're like, oh yeah, that was like one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Like you should feel it in your body, right? Like, oh,
100%. Biggest takeaway from you is just the inner beauty that we can explore more within ourselves. I know for you, it started from a very young age. It sounds like from your mom, she really brought it internally and helped you connect the external with the internal.
I believe that design can really increase the quality of life, and, design and art and beauty, it's just one of the things that makes being here so incredibly beautiful, but it has to be the real kind.
100%. And when we say the real kind, it doesn't mean perfect kind. And that's something that I'm really gaining more and more insight lately on. And especially my conversation with you today is, oh man, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just do it, right?
It's not perfect, and it's never going to be
It's
perfect.
never going to be perfect. Exactly. Exactly.
That's the part. That's the funny trick. Everyone's like, "It's okay if it's not perfect." Well, it's like, well, yeah, it's okay because
It's
that's
never
what
going to
it is.